Hey there, YouTube. How's life treating you out there? Hope you're having a good week so far. Shooting this on a Wednesday, almost noon. So by the time you watch this, we'll be at least over halfway through the week. And who knows, sometimes you might be watching this 2 weeks later. But today we're going to get kind of a broader topic. It's Raw Vegan My Way from S.A.D, Standard American Diet. That's what that stands for, to fully raw. Guys, if any of you aren't already subscribed to the channel, I would invite you to go down there and hit that subscribe button, then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. And please, by all means, come back and check out some more of my content. Yeah, this is a little bit broader one today because, as I mention all the time, I like to help people wherever they are. It doesn't matter, if they are fully raw, if they're trying to be fully raw, maybe no interest in ever being fully raw. I've got people that become vegan, don't want to go any further. I've got people that are not even vegan or plant-based that they move a little bit more toward there. So like I say, it's not for me to be so rigid and be like, okay, all I'm going to talk about and all I'm going to focus on is this one thing, because as I'm always saying, it's a numbers thing. It's just not practical because like I say, you go from vegetarian down to vegan, down to whole food, plant-based, down to raw, and you're talking about a very narrow section. So I've always wanted to work with people to help them more of a one-on-one or in smaller groups, but I'm not sure I have the patience for that because I've tried it a couple of times and I just start losing patience when people start. I've never been a parent. So when I hit adults that are doing kid things like, well, I don't eat this and I don't like this and my taste and I don't like and I don't want and I don't do and I don't blah and I don't blah. And then you got a lot of people that, quite frankly, I think we got a lot of hypochondriacs and self-diagnosers out there. Well, I can't eat this. This makes me bloat, and this I'm allergic to, and this makes me this, and this makes me that. Now, when it comes to allergies, that's a little bit more serious when people have actually, gone and got tested for allergies. But a lot of this stuff is just self-diagnosed, and it's things that you've told yourself because you don't really understand how to do a plant-based diet in the first place, much less raw, and like kind of the transition your body's going to go through between eating a standard American diet and a raw. There's going to be some rockiness. It's not going to be just like, for most people, you're not going to just start eating like that and immediately feel amazing. Yes, people get bloated, can get bloated early on because they're not used to all that fiber and whatever. So from standard American diet to fully raw. And this is also like, if somebody just totally, like, I'm kind of coming from the perspective like somebody just came to me, they eat a standard American diet right now, and they have totally put themselves in my hands. None of that stuff. Well, I don't eat this, I don't eat that, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. Jack, I am in your hands. Whatever you tell me, I'm going to do. Which I don't want that power, but I'm just kind of imagining that scenario. Okay, so you're at a standard American diet. Immediately, I don't think you have to transition off the animal products. I think you could just okay, you're not going to be super clean and you're not going to be doing it the healthiest way possible. But I think you could make a decision today and tomorrow, cut out all those animal products. I know everybody likes to take their time and tiptoe into it. And I'm going to give up beef first and then I'll give up this next. And then by the time you've done it, it takes you a year to give up the animal products. There's so many things out there today. There's so many substitute products and what have you that you could go vegan overnight. I'm sorry. Personally, I think you could go whole food plant-based overnight because there's just so many options and recipes and stuff out there these days. But we'll just say you could definitely go from standard American diet to a vegan diet, eliminating all the animal products overnight. And just eat simple foods. Like, people are constantly asking me about, oh, well, this is expensive, this is blah, 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 blah. Well, you do what you can do, and you start eating simple foods. And the thing about these whole foods and the simple whole foods is they're cheaper. Beans and rice. I don't personally eat rice, even though, as a lot of you guys know, and I just talked about it in my last video, the cooked food that I include. I'm not a rice snob. I know there's a lot of societies around the world that would not feed their countries if it were not for rice. I lived in Latin America for 18 years. Beans and rice is a staple down there. So think about staples. Think about the beans and rice. You know, if a budget, if like a super low budget is not a concern, I always recommend quinoa. If you're like, instead of beans and rice, quinoa and rice. Sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes, if you're anywhere where you can get those orange sweet potatoes or even purple Japanese sweet potatoes, full of nutrition. Full of nutrition. Those things are so good for you. So think legumes. Think potatoes. Think vegetables, think fruits, think all the natural things that just actually grow, that you don't have to necessarily put in a package and you don't have to add any ingredients to. I would say read yourself a couple of books. And also, I kind of have these things in mind for the whole food plant-based and not just the raw, because most of my information, as I've told you many times, I get from non-raw sources, and I just kind of adapt it to the way I do raw, because to be honest, there's not a lot of raw resources out there like books and real hardcore material that I actually put much faith in, put much trust in. So I read the whole food plant-based people like Dr. Greger, How Not to Die, Fiber Fueled, excellent. T. Colin Campbell, people like that. But learn the basics of a whole food plant-based diet. I would say if you were going to buy one book that would teach you a lot of stuff, get Dr. Greger's How Not to Die. But try just to learn the nutrition. From day one, as I'm always harping about on and on, focus on your nutrition. If you really, and like I say, if you need that step, definitely take that step from standard American diet to just eating vegan. Even if you're eating, I know a lot of raw people and even a lot of whole food plant-based people turn their nose up and talk about these fake meats and whatever. But I want you to think about this for a minute, you real pious raw people. It's a way for people to get off certain things. Yeah, it's not that healthy. Beyond Meat, no, it's not really healthy, I don't think. But it gets people, it's a step. It gets people off these animal products. So if you do need to do that for a period of time and you're coming from a heavy standard American diet, do that. Just go vegan, just eat plant-based for maybe a month or two. Focus on nothing but plant-based. But I don't want you to stick in that zone for too long. After you've been vegan, plant-based, just any kind of vegan, plant-based for a couple of months, start working on that nutrition. Actually, the day you go vegan, actually from the day you see this, if you're interested, start studying the nutrition. Start studying the things you need to get in. Look into Diversity, another great book out there that would even be great for beginners that I've only been aware of this a couple of years ago, is Fiber Fueled, which talks about the diversity we need to put into our body. So it's not just about eating a bunch of fruit. It's like you need the greens, you need the diversity, you need the different colors. We need lots of fruits and vegetables to have that healthy gut biome that basically is the second brain for our body. It strengthens our immune system and just makes us healthier overall. So get to vegan, and then after a couple of months, just start really focusing on that whole food plant-based stuff. Now, there's a resource I always recommend as well that you'll find on most book stands, anywhere you can buy magazines out there. Get Forks Over Knives. Great resource. They also have a website online where I'm sure they have tons of recipes as well, but they put out a magazine 4 times a year. I'll generally buy it a couple of times and end up giving it away to somebody. But they have wonderful recipes in there. And the step over from that just vegan, whatever kind of vegan diet, plant-based, to the whole food plant-based is not just the whole foods as well, but also now you're starting to go SOS, which is salt, oil, and sugar-free. Sugar, of course, not talking about the natural sugars that occur in fruits. Oil, don't really need it. Salt, I'm definitely very limited on your salt. I'll use a little pink Himalayan in my stuff, but you start getting used to not putting all these chemicals and stuff in there, and you just go step by step. You get cleaner. A good analogy here of the way I try to share, and hopefully what this channel will be, is think of this as a train. You're getting on my train here. You get on at the very beginning at the standard American diet, and you can get off anywhere, or you can ride it all the way to the end, and I'll show you little tricks how to get to fully raw. But that's up to you. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to be like, well, if you're not fully raw, I've got no interest in you and I've got nothing for you. So get to that vegan, get to that whole food plant-based, and then I'll just finish up with this, and you can go back and watch some more of my beginner videos on starting a raw food diet. After you've been whole food plant-based and doing SOS and you're solid in that, then just start eating more raw. Even when you go whole food plant-based, it'd be real easy to have like a raw breakfast. But once you get to the whole food plant-based part of it, then you can, even if you want to make it solid. See, I'm going to get you there. I'm not as concerned about getting you there as fast as you can get there. I'm concerned about trying to get you there in a method to where it's going to take and where it's going to really set in, and where it's going to be like, once you do get there, there's not going to be any back and forth, there's not going to be any yo-yo, and you're going to be there. So I would say once you've got to the whole food plant-based stage, start out like maybe do 1 meal raw for a month. Then the next month you do 2 meals a day raw, or do raw till dinner. And then on the 3rd month you go fully raw. Easily, and you're fooling yourself. And I'm going to finish with this to all the people that are always trying and never fail. There is no reason whatsoever why you cannot go from a standard American diet to a fully raw, if that's what you want to do, in 6 months, 6, 7, 8 months. And a lot of raw vegans are like, will turn their nose up at that, like, no, you can go overnight or you can go in a couple of weeks. How many are sustaining that? We see raw vegans doing their videos on how raw wrecked their health and blah, blah, blah every other day. So nobody's actually doing it that overnight, that cold turkey, that exciting way. So just like, do what you need to do to take the steps to get there and stay there. That's what's going to matter in the long run, is what you do over a long period of time, not how quick you can get there. I've seen a ton of people get to fully raw and stay at fully raw for maybe 6 months, 8 months, a year, and then boom, they're right back off. So anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Maybe share it with some friends that are interested, or you think might be interested in doing a whole food plant-based diet. And yeah, I'm just going to continue to try to just throw things out here and there that help as many people as possible wherever they are. So hope you guys have a beautiful day and a beautiful rest of the week. Peace.